Well, a new and unique photography studio opened up in Nicholasville called Promethean Photography Studios. Here to talk about the studios is Patrick Anderson and Whitney Anderson, a father-daughter duo.
That's right.
Welcome to the show.
Thank you.
Thank you for having us.
So how did you all come up with this idea of doing this studio together?
Well, it was kind of a culmination of things. I was in healthcare administration with St. Joseph Medical Group for about 15 plus years. And just healthcare the way it was just getting really hectic, really stressful. And so my wife made the recommendation that maybe I should retire early and pursue photography. I'd always been involved in photography for a long time. And so I decided to do that. And that's kind of how I started taking pictures here and there. And then with Whitney.
It was a pretty drastic change. Like he said, he's been doing photography for a while. So it's been a part of my life kind of as a hobby. We've always had cameras around the house. But just recently I was halfway through a pre-veterinary medicine degree, and that was something I thought I was going to do since I was like 2 years old. And as like many students, I was there during the COVID outbreak, so during quarantine. There was a lot of, you know, time away from like classes, which kind of made me realize like maybe this isn't what I want to do. And it was kind of scary to think like, oh, this is what I've thought I was going to do my whole life, and I'm just going to like change the whole directory of my career. But we like to think it's kind of funny with like the generational difference of kind of like, it's, you know, you're never too young, and you know it's never too late to kind of pursue what you want to do.
You appeal to all audiences then, I guess.
Yeah.
There you go. And then, you know, what kind of photos do you do?
Well, we primarily shoot what we call editorial photos. We also have been doing senior portraits. As of late, we've had a lot of requests, ironically, a lot of requests for boudoir. And so that kind of puts us in a niche that's really different because we are father-daughter. And when
it's unique, for sure.
It is, yeah. And so when, I mean, there are boudoir photographers here in Lexington and Central Kentucky. When I announced on Facebook that I was, you know, hey, I was going to retire, I'm just going to pursue my passion, I never said what I was going to shoot, but I just got a lot of requests about boudoir, and so I talked to my wife about it. Yeah, and I said, so is that a thing? Is that like, people are like, really want to do that? And so I think where it gets kind of fun is because there's a generational difference. You know, I'll talk to adults or people my age that are interested, and I'll say, well, my partner is my daughter, she'll be shooting, and they'll stop and say, wait a minute, your daughter's going to be there?
How old is your daughter?
Yeah, exactly.
Are we making sure she's of age?
And it's situation for me, like, oh, your dad's going to be there. And I'm like, yeah, but it's like, you know, we're both, you know, professional, and we, you know, a lot of it's pretty technical for us. And yeah, with doing editorials, we just like to get creative with any kind of photos we do, whether it be seniors, boudoir, just portraits in general. I mean, we just finished remodeling our studio where we have a cyclorama wall, which is like the infinite white wall. So we like to get pretty creative with that and try to take all the different portraits to like a different level than what you typically see.
Yeah, that's amazing. And how did you all come up with this name, Promethean?
Yeah, so Promethean, Promethean comes from the Greek mythology. Prometheus, he was a titan that defied Zeus and brought, you know, he took fire down to and enlighten mankind, and he was punished for it. So Promethean has always kind of been known to being the defiance of the norms, or breaking the stereotype. And so that's what we feel that we really embrace when we do any of our photography. Our senior photography, a good example, my daughter, she had her senior portraits done by an amazing photographer here in town. We absolutely love her. She's really, really good. And the pictures that she produced were gorgeous. The thing is it wasn't my daughter. You know, it didn't really capture who she was. And so we take a lot of time and invest in our clients and really, really get to know them, so that when we, you know, because for us, we take it as a big responsibility. Once you say, I trust you now to capture that image, you know, we want to make sure that we capture exactly what you want, but also what you don't expect that we see. And it's usually always really cool.
Yeah, and if folks want to book with you, how can they do that?
Yeah, it's like pretty simple. I mean, they can contact us through like any kind of form of avenue. We're on Instagram, Facebook. We have a website that has, you know, like the contact sheet, and you know, from there we schedule consultations. We find it's really important to like consult first before just shooting it, because we want to get to know the person and kind of collab more on the photo shoot than just, you know, picking location, shooting it, and like, here's your pictures, and like getting to know them, have them get to know us, so that it's a more comfortable environment.
And it's usually a pretty fun. Usually it's a pretty fun environment, especially when we have, with our dynamic. You know, there's a lot of times we're very symbiotic in how we shoot, but you'll because she's my daughter, you're still going to always get the, hey, you know, okay, Whitney, I need you to do this, and she'll just kind of roll her eyes.
And I'm like, okay.
I love that.
We get a lot of funny feedback. Sometimes people are like, you know, you're giving like Tony Stark, Peter Parker vibe right now. We're like, okay, you know, we'll take it. But we like to make sure the environment's fun and
Makes people feel comfortable, especially a lot of times when people get their picture taken, they don't feel comfortable.
Right. Yeah.
So that's good that you two are able to make them feel at ease.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah.